Hey guys, Sword here, back in with another action figure review of quite possibly the laziest figure we've ever seen in the life of the DC Multiverse line, shy of all the Jokerized bullshit, and that is of course going to be none other than good old Eradicator from the return of Superman. Brought to us by the not-so-fine folks over at McFarlane Toys, because eagle-eye viewers of the channel will remember that I reviewed this guy, I want to say last year. This is the Walmart exclusive gold label Eradicator. Not the hardest thing to come by, but it was a store exclusive, so not the easiest to come by either. But if you look at both him and the new Eradicator, you will notice the only real difference is the color. It is the same goddamn thing that we got before, right down to the absolute worst sculpted cape in the history of this line. Why does this new one not have a soft goods cape with a wire in it? That is, quite frankly, some straight up bullshit, okay? In this day and age, McFarlane should want to go out with a bang with this DC Multiverse line. Instead, it just seems like ever since it was announced that they were losing the license, they stopped giving a shit. And this figure is a prime example of that. Even though everyone was flipping out over it when it came out, or was revealed, or released, or whatever, it is the definition, the textbook definition of half-assed. And that sucks, because I think Eradicator's a cool character and deserves better treatment than this. You know, if you're not going to give him a wired cape, fine. At least a cloth cape, or just a cape that's better than this. This is a fucking mess. That said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, why don't we cut right to the chase and get into the meat and taters of this review and take a look-see at all Eradicator has to offer in terms of accessories. Starting off the collectible trading card with a bio on the back. Not too sure about Eradicator. I haven't read up on him as much as some of the other Supermen from this era, but he looks cool. Definitely 90s. We do also have a pair of alternate, quite frankly, molesty looking open hands. And yeah, those are fine, I guess. But, you know, at the end of the day, if we bring this guy back in, one of these didn't need to exist. Clearly, they could have just threw in the alt head and it would have been fine. I really don't get it, man. I really freaking don't. But he also comes with a hockey puck display stand using with all McFarlane Toys releases. And since he is the same thing as before, I'm going to try and make this as short and sweet as possible. Hopefully not as ranty, but can't make any promises. But his head will look side to side, look up and down a little bit, tilt a little bit. I did actually heat mine up and pinch it a bit, kind of warp it so it's not as fat, because in the package they kind of warped it on you, so you kind of gotta heat it up a little bit, but that wasn't too hard to handle. The shoulders will pop out, back down, rotate all the way around. He does have the beautiful butterfly that does work. Got a bicep swivel, double elbow. That's fine. Ball hinge wrists that will rotate, hinge, and swivel. It's got a diaphragm joint that works okay. Lean back, lean forward, it's fine. Waist, same thing. I will say, feels like he's got a little bit more in the waist, but not a lot. Hips will kick forward and back, out, back down. He does have a little thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee. That works okay. I advise you do this because they do hyperextend. Ball hinged ankles that will rotate, hinge, pivot. Very tight. And toe joints that are mediocre at best. But yeah, I gotta be honest, this figure was a $25 head sculpt. That's basically what it was at the end of the day. Because I prefer this to the for lack of a better term, blackface of the other one. Where some woke piece of shit out there goes and calls Overlord racist. Bring that figure back in. It's literally a fucking blackface, so get off your high horse, please. Not to mention, if you were to get the platinum of this, I think you'd be making out better, because it's at least translucent. I think the head sculpt is still a solid color, so you could always swap that onto this figure if you wanted to, and have a classic Eradicator. In hindsight, probably should have done that, because a local friend who shall not be named for privacy reasons did find a couple of those while he was out and about. And, yeah, I probably should have got that, but it is what it is. Hindsight's 2020, and in the year 2025, most people are going to be thinking, is McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse even worth collecting anymore? I mean, really, they're losing the license, so you're going to have to start all over. And at the moment, they're just half-assing shit. So, it is what it is, I'm afraid. That said, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I'd probably be making some different decisions, I can tell you that. But, before we wrap this up, let's bring in our two regulars, the Mythic Legions, Brother Manibelith, right there. And the infamous 11 Spawn, who is about neck and neck with good old Eradicator here. So, with that being said, it's time now that we wrap things up, finally, after probably 5 minutes of rants and raves, give or take, with some final thoughts. Overall, and despite the fact that this is the Eradicator we should have gotten in the first place, it is still not the Eradicator that we've been asking for. Why is that, you might ask? Well, for those of you who haven't been paying attention throughout the majority of this review, you silly gooses, this figure should have had a wired cape. I don't know why he's got this stupid, windswept to the point where it doesn't make any flippin' sense cape. In 2025, last year the DC license, I mentioned this before, and I'm going to say it again, it just seems like once word broke out that McFarlane was losing the DC license, they low-key stopped giving a crap and just started half-assing stuff. And this is a prime example of that. Yes, the colors are a little better, and the head sculpt is what it should have been in the first place, or better yet, just included with the other one. Especially since it is literally just a repaint. It's just a repaint. If it had a wired cape, I'd cut it a lot more slack. Since it doesn't, I'm afraid I can't do that. And that sucks, because McFarlane was a company I used to praise on this channel. And now it seems like I roast them on a consistent day-to-day basis. So, what are you going to do? So that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review, for better or for worse. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.